Cryptocurrencies versus stocks, NASDAQ, the ultimate showdown, and which one is better. In today's video, we will look over the past decade and we will project to the next decade what will happen next, and we will have the ultimate showdown of which one is better. Is it cryptocurrencies or stocks, specifically NASDAQ, and why, and where is the best opportunity right now in the bear market of 2022? We have a crazy bear market in both assets for the first time in crypto's existence, the first ever bear market in stocks and crypto together. It's really good timing now for this particular video. So guys, none of this is financial advice. Welcome to AR7 Crypto channel once again, and today we will start the video. We will compare specifically mostly Bitcoin with the rest of the biggest, the really major blue chip stocks. Okay, how did it perform in the past decade and the next decade? So we're starting today, guys, with the most really crazy possibly opportunity, not financial advice, but look at Meta, guys. This is Meta, Facebook. This is one of the largest, as you guys know, companies in the whole world, and they are down approximately 75% from their all-time high. And just frankly, guys, this is the this was the main stock that gave me the idea for this next video. Okay, so check this crazy data out. We're, for Meta Facebook, we're at the same price right now as we were in 2015. Now again, I am personally much more into crypto, and you know, we're gonna discuss this video in much detail here, but still, you know, stocks deserve the respect they should get. And look, non-financial advice, in my opinion, Meta is really undervalued right now, and you know, it's not in the same phase as it was in 2015. It's a much larger company right now, but it's at the same price as it was in 2015. So this is gonna be our first comparison over the last decade. How did Meta Facebook perform in comparison to Bitcoin, and which one was better between Bitcoin and Meta Facebook over the last decade? So as we've mentioned, 2015 and now, Meta Facebook has the same price. So if anybody had invested $10,000 in 2015 in Facebook, they have the exact same money now, break even, $10,000 right now with Meta Facebook. Now let's have a look where was Bitcoin in August 2015. With Bitcoin, we were at $200. So right now we're at $21,000, meaning we're approximately 100x from 2015. So if anybody put $10,000 in Meta Facebook in 2015, $10,000 in Bitcoin, they have $10,000, the exact same amount in Meta Facebook, and they have $1 million or very close to that with Bitcoin. Okay, so definitely Bitcoin is a huge winner against Meta Facebook, which is one of the largest companies. Now you may say this is some cherry picking data, but we can even go as far as like to the very low, okay, to the very low of Meta Facebook in August 2012. Okay, and back then the price was approximately $18 or so for Meta Facebook, and right now we're 89. So it's approximately, I think, 4x or so. Yeah, so if you put in 2012, so this is exactly a decade, this is really the best comparison. 2012 Facebook, if you put $10,000, then you have now $40,000 with Meta Facebook. But with Bitcoin, let's have a look how much you have with Bitcoin from 2012. Well, yeah, let's go to August. Okay, so it was definitely even under $5 in May of 2012, but let's be fair and go to August of 2012, when Bitcoin was approximately, let's round it up to $10. So from $10 to $20,000, guys. If anybody had invested $10,000 in Bitcoin in August 2012, they have now $20 million. They have a 2000x on Bitcoin from 2012. So against Meta Facebook, we know that Bitcoin had been a major winner. Now we can continue to the next one in line, and that's gonna be Alphabet, Google, one of the even a larger company in a way than Meta Facebook, again one of the blue chips. And again, guys, even though this is a crypto channel, just to give you kind of some perspective, in the past I've also invested in stocks. Right now I'm not, there's a bear market, but again, I do think, especially with Meta Facebook, we're having fantastic opportunities for stocks as well. So this is not anything to bash stocks. We're just comparing. This is just the data. Okay, so far Bitcoin outperformed in a huge way Meta, Facebook, and now we're gonna see what happened with Google as well. But that being said, this is still a blue chip company, so in my personal non-financial advice opinion, Google is not a very bad stock in general. So back to Alpha, Beta, Google. Okay, so let's go again to 2015, or maybe to make it faster, let's just go to 2012. Okay, so in 2012, we've mentioned in approximately, let's even give kind of be nicer to Google here. So it was like $14 here in 2012, and right now we're at 80 something. Okay, so it's approximately 560%. It's approximately a 6x. Not very bad. So a $10,000 with Google in 2012 is worth now $60,000. As we know with Bitcoin, we have from $10,000 $20 million. So again, huge outperformance from Google and Bitcoin. Let's continue with another stock. Actually, I have here Amazon over here, but I'll go first to Apple and then to Amazon, because Amazon actually outperformed better. So let's continue with the blue chip, with the biggest. This is actually the biggest stock in the world right now, or at least normally it's like the #1 stock with the highest market cap in the whole world. So let's go again to 20. Yeah, looks like in 2012 it actually had a little bit of a peak. So let's even kind of give the benefit of the doubt to Apple here. And let's go here to 2013 actually for Apple. And you know, without, yeah, we can even say, let's say it's from $13 to $137. So that's a 10x. So interestingly, Apple actually outperformed Google and Meta, though let's bear in mind I'm looking at it from 2013. Looks like it had a pretty major dump back then, almost a 50%. But anyway, from 2013 until now, $10,000 in Apple is worth $100,000 in Apple. Of course, it was a much smaller company before that, and of course Apple had even more tremendous gains, but we're looking at a decade right now. So Apple $10,000 to $100,000. Bitcoin, as we've mentioned, still $10,000 to 20 million. Still not anywhere close to Meta, Google, or Apple. Next one in line is Amazon. Okay, Amazon has definitely outperformed the rest and was a bit of a smaller stock in the beginning of the last decade. But that being said, let's have a look here. Interestingly, it actually had approximately the same gains as Apple. I didn't know that. I thought actually Apple outperformed Amazon. But interestingly, from 2012, Amazon was $9 after they had the stock split recently. Now it's $90, so Amazon is actually also up 10x, just like Apple. So let's continue, guys, now actually to Tesla. Why Tesla is going to be super interesting, because Tesla is, as many people know, in the whole NASDAQ world, Tesla is really like one of the biggest success stories of the past decade in the general world of stocks. So it definitely had much better gains than the rest of the stocks that we've covered here. So the next showdown is going to be the most interesting, Tesla versus Bitcoin. So let's do it interestingly, like we did with Facebook first, Meta. Let's compare 2015 and 2012 together. Because interestingly, you can see like we're on the log chart here. So look how like it just exploded here in 2013. Interestingly, also Bitcoin exploded in that particular year, and then it just consolidated here from 2013 to 19 and just exploded once again. Tesla is definitely super impressive, and it's a company that I also have owned multiple times this stock in the past, and I still think it's a great stock. But anyway, 2015. Tesla stock was worth $15. We're not even in 2012, and it's already outperforming the rest of the stocks we've seen so far today. So let's round it up to approximately $15 or so, $13 in 2015. And we're looking here at now a price of $219. So that's approximately like a 15x, maybe. Yeah, maybe actually it's actually even closer to 20x, depending where do you. Yeah, if you look at it from like $10, then yeah, it's definitely, let's round it up for 20x. Okay, so at $10,000 for Tesla in 2015, actually it became 200,000, from 10,000 to 200,000. That's super interesting. That's now pretty closer to Bitcoin. Now let's compare again to Bitcoin to 2015. So in 2015, Bitcoin, as we've mentioned, was approximately $200. And now we're at $21,000. Now it wasn't exactly at 200 unless you really catch the absolute bottom. So more realistically, you know, if you bought it like at 230, if any bought it, yeah, 230, now it's 21,000, it's close to a million. So it's $10,000, it's close to a million, let's maybe say 800, 900,000, it's still a winner against Tesla, like the biggest superstar of NASDAQ of the last decade, at least from 2015 until now. But interestingly, Tesla is definitely given a much closer fight to Bitcoin over here. Now let's finish with 2012. So as we can see, similarly to Bitcoin, Tesla had a major bull run in 2013 and was worth much less before. So if we really look at 2011, 2012, looks like Tesla was worth, let's say, $2. So Tesla is really up literally from these times 100x. So now we're getting to the $10,000 that has become $1 million over 1 decade. Tesla has definitely been a fantastic success story. But still, as we guys remember, 2012, even if we look at Bitcoin over here in August when it was $10 and not $5, still from $10 to 21,000, that's a 2,000x for Bitcoin. So at $10,000 is worth $20 million for Bitcoin, whilst with Tesla it's $10,000 to a million. So interestingly, Tesla's gains from 2012 until 2022 were similar to Bitcoin in 2015 until 2022. But bottom line, guys, we know that over the past decade, Bitcoin has been a big, huge winner against all of the really major NASDAQ stocks of the last decade. Okay, so that was the first decade, 2012 until 2022. Now, guys, even the more interesting part, and again, non-financial advice, but now we're gonna do the next decade, and I'm gonna use a really nice metric that many people in crypto use, and we're gonna compare what really can outperform over the next decade. Okay, so of course now we have many more cryptocurrencies and altcoins nowadays, except Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin right now is a more established asset, similarly to you know, the blue chips of the stocks. Okay, so listen to the next big thing. So I have here NASDAQ. I wanted to show you here NASDAQ, and really something important. Okay, as you can see, some of you guys may know or may not, some people view blockchain as like very similar stages to the internet in the 90s. Most people don't understand what's up, what's going on, but they see it just keeps developing and keeps becoming bigger and having more and more use cases. Similarly to the 90s, like I was very small kid in the 90s, but I know that many people were thinking that the internet is just gonna be something that you know, something that just nobody cares about, and it's, you know, was some bubble and just disappeared. But as we guys know, over the next millennium, internet had become super integral part of our lives. So anyway, when NASDAQ and Web 1, Web 2 technologies was very nascent, as you can see, it had just an absolutely crazy bull run over approximately really the first decade. I mean, it existed even before, but let's say really from 1990 here, that was the really significant bull run in NASDAQ. Interestingly, it was crazy. I mean, that's NASDAQ. It's 2,500% for NASDAQ. Like, I mean, it's an index fund, right? It's not even a particular stock. So it's absolutely insane gains that NASDAQ had. And in my personal view, and in many other many other big investors and hedge funds view, right now, cryptocurrency is in a pretty similar stage to somewhere here. Okay, so the first decade was similar to this big decade in the NASDAQ of the 90s. So crypto had that in, let's say, 2010 until 2020, or 2012 until 2022. Okay, similarly to what NASDAQ had in 1990 until 2000-ish. Okay, why am I also one of the main reasons why I say that, because when NASDAQ peaked here in April 2000, the total market cap of NASDAQ back then was $3 trillion. Okay, and why is that important? Because the total cryptocurrency market cap also peaked at $3 trillion over here. Let me move myself a little here. You see, this was approximately $3 trillion as well here in November 2021. So there are many similarities. Okay, so it's a new technology that a large percentage of the population doesn't exactly understand. Now we're currently at a stage that many people heard about it or know it exists and know maybe it's kind of, you know, developing and getting better, but still many people don't understand exactly. Similarly to NASDAQ, as we've said, in the 90s. So we're also at the same valuation in approximately 3 trillion market cap, to the same valuation that NASDAQ had over here in April 2000. Okay, and then we've had this major collapse here in NASDAQ to approximately actually this collapse was to approximately to 500 billion market cap. Okay, so if that's a huge if, of course, right? But if crypto will have a very similar the total crypto market cap of crypto will have a similar bear market to what NASDAQ had in the beginning of the millennium, it should drop to approximately 500 billion market cap. Of course, we have no idea if it will happen for sure, but we have a precedent in the history with NASDAQ that this has happened. So I think it's very decent to at least know that that the crypto definitely can dump 50%, the total crypto market cap of crypto can dump another 50% from here. That's another really major thing that we have to remember. So now, guys, I want to show you, so that being said, if we are in a similar stage to what NASDAQ had in the year 2000 for crypto, what other really important thing we should take into consideration? So another really major thing, guys, is as you guys know, we have a major inflation, and you know, like at $10,000 in the year 2000, you don't have the same purchasing power anymore now in 2022 with $10,000, not anywhere close to that. So that being said, a 3 trillion market cap in 2000 relative to the purchasing power, you know, relative to the how much money is it out of the total circulating money that you have in the world, 3 trillion actually in 2000 was more than it is in 2022. Okay, so that means that relatively speaking, crypto is actually still more undervalued in comparison to the inflation and to the amount of money that we have. It's more undervalued than NASDAQ in the year 2000. But guys, now we're gonna talk about the future for cryptocurrency. So since we have this precedent of NASDAQ that it's still appreciated even further from the peak of 2000, this is the next really major things, guys, that I want to share. Okay, so first of all, after NASDAQ did have this major bear market, the first super important thing to remember is that we didn't really have a similar bull market like here, just because NASDAQ already was much bigger, right? So similarly with crypto, at least the total crypto market cap, we're not gonna have the same gains that Bitcoin had from 2012, you know? So we saw Bitcoin was worth $10 and now it's $20,000. Right now, to have a 2000x in Bitcoin, it's going to be absolutely insane. Like, I mean, even if it will happen, it will means we will have like super major hyperinflation. Okay, so specifically with Bitcoin, 2000x is not very likely, and also in I mean, it's almost unlikely. I think very unlikely in my opinion. And also in total crypto market cap, because Bitcoin is like 40-50% of this whole total crypto market cap. Having another, you know, 2000x from here is gonna be highly unlikely, but what NASDAQ had done is gonna be likely. And also, we can still look at particular stocks like Apple. You know, we didn't go even further, but you know, this was the peak of the year 2000. But actually, from the bear market low, look, Apple was like 25 cents or something like that. You know, so if we choose, and guys, if you aren't subscribed yet, this is a fantastic opportunity to subscribe and to join for us to keep finding the absolutely best altcoins that will outperform Bitcoin and will outperform the total crypto market cap. This is a fantastic opportunity to subscribe, and if you have any questions, also leave a comment below. But have a look. Apple in 2003 until now made 60,000%. Okay, that's I don't even know what it is, but like, let's put it like this. I mean, from $1.3, that's 100x, so it's very close to 1000x. And I mean, that's after the peak of NASDAQ. Apple had done that, and like, Apple wasn't really an extremely unknown stock, though it was much smaller back then, and it didn't have the iPhone yet and stuff like that. But generally speaking, we will still have cryptocurrencies that will do 1000x even from now. We just need to find them, like Apple with NASDAQ. And now guys, let's have a look on the last thing. How can we really gauge where crypto is headed? And guys, over here, please have a really good listen, because this is something that most crypto people out there are not talking about, and this is gonna be a huge alpha, guys, that I want to share with anyone who've made it this far in this video here. Listen please to the next big thing. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, that's a fantastic opportunity to do that. Look, in my opinion, as you guys know, if you're familiar with the stock to flow model, in my opinion, it's a fantastic model. But guys, have a look. Like, as you can see, many people claim that it had worked very good until approximately here in 2021, okay? Because in the past, you know, we've had bull runs that were outperforming the line, okay? And then in the bear markets, we were underperforming, right? So 2011 outperformed, 2013 bull run outperform, and underperform in the bear market, underperform over here. And again, same here in 2017, 2018, and again in the bear market we underperform, but then we're back. And then we look actually interestingly in the accumulation phase after the bear market in 2019, 2020. Look how actually close it was here, and it was just really following the stock to flow model. Really awesome. But look at what we have. Well, two things. Look at what we have now in the bear market, and also have a look how actually in the bull run we did outperform a little, but you know, it wasn't anywhere close to this, or this, okay, to the previous bull runs when we've had parabolas. Yeah, we outperformed just a little bit, and look how tremendously we're underperforming here for a long time, okay? And now this is gonna be the major thing that most people are not talking about. Why I think that's so, and why I think the stock to flow, what is the major issue with that, and why people don't view it in the right way. The major thing, guys, is that this stock to flow, as you can see, it was developed mostly for Bitcoin, okay? So many people view this as Bitcoin. And the model was developed for Bitcoin, and many people who are Bitcoin maximalists are normally looking at that. And the way I see it, the reason it looks like it had broken down is because we look at it from the Bitcoin maxi perspective, okay? But if we actually convert all of that into general total crypto market cap, okay, then everything makes much more sense, okay? So listen up to the next thing, okay? Let's go back here to the charts and have a look, please, on the Bitcoin dominance, okay? Up until January 2017, let me move again here, we were at 95%, okay? Meaning that up until January 2017, Bitcoin was 95% or more from the overall crypto market cap. Meaning that up until here, approximately, that model was fantastic, and I mean, it covered mostly Bitcoin, right? Now we are at 40%, okay? That's because the blockchain world had developed tremendously since then, and we have smart contract chains like Ethereum, and we have even many competitors like Solana, Avalanche, and Atom. Anyway, we have so many more cryptocurrencies today, and we're gonna have even more and more, and over time the Bitcoin dominance is gonna drop even more. But this stock to flow model, the people who developed it were thinking about Bitcoin, but we just need to adjust it to the general total crypto market cap, and then all of this bull run would make much more sense, okay? Because let's have a look. So for example, in May 2021, you know, so this was like the last major alt season, right? So over here we dropped to like between 40 to 50% or so, okay? So let's see the price here, okay? So this says that the price of Bitcoin should be approximately 100K between 2021 to 2024, and then after the next halving we should get to the closer to 1 million valuation, like maybe a 7x from the current valuations or fair valuations or so. So guys, if we actually look at this chart and imagine like, you know, we pump it a little bit 50% as we compare it for the total crypto market cap and not only Bitcoin, And then it makes much more sense, right? Because like if here Bitcoin was worth 64, here we can see 60K for Bitcoin, okay, but it was 40% of the overall crypto market. So it means that like if we just take all the valuations of the rest of crypto, given all of that to Bitcoin, just to kind of make it easier for this stock to flow model. So Bitcoin was supposed to be approximately 120K or even more, even 100. Yeah, let's say between 120 to 150K. And then imagine that would be like much higher over here. And then it would be reminiscent of this peak, this peak, this peak, and this peak, okay, in 2021. And then we've had a double peak again, and again we went again to the 3 trillion as we saw for the general crypto market cap, but Bitcoin was only 1 and a little bit trillion, okay? So still, as we've mentioned, like Bitcoin was supposed to get to like 150K. And right now, with Bitcoin being 40% and being 20K, it means that in the bear market, let's say if Bitcoin was 80% of the crypto market, Bitcoin would be now 40K. And we can see that over here we were at 40K. So then you can imagine that this bear market over here, if Bitcoin was still at 40K, this would be a bit more reminiscent to this and this and this, and it won't look like we're underperforming so greatly. So guys, this was one of the really major things that I wanted to share to anyone who made it this far, that I think this is a fantastic model that we can use, and it has worked, you know, like for a decade, but it just needs adjustment to the total crypto market cap and not only Bitcoin. And that being said, again, accordingly to everything that we've had and with the pace of adoption of crypto, approximately in 2024, 2025, of course, we don't know exactly when it's going to happen. It can happen a little bit before or a little bit after, but this is a good guideline because this is exactly what was happening over all of the history of crypto. In 2024 and 2025, we should get to approximately a valuation of 600,000, okay, for Bitcoin. But we know that if we have, let's say if Bitcoin is gonna be 15% market dominance, Bitcoin can actually only be here like approximately 100K, okay? But the rest of the crypto can be so much higher. So this is a really good guideline, okay? And why I really like, as I've mentioned, the stock to flow model as well, is because it also makes sense with NASDAQ too, okay? And NASDAQ is a fantastic precedent in history because again, it was also a very revolutionary technology back then. Now we kind of live with the internet and it's kind of normal life to us, but it was very revolutionary back then as well. So possibly in 20 years, anything blockchain and crypto related is also gonna be like very normalized and everyone is like, oh yeah, that's life. But you know, it is revolutionary and very new right now, just like NASDAQ before. So, we know that NASDAQ also increased, like, you know, here from the bear markets. Even after, so now NASDAQ is in the bear market actually, and it's like a 10,000 value, but it peaked at 16K. Okay, so actually from the low here of let's round it up to 1,000, it did a 16x as an index, and of course it took like 2 decades, right? So I mean, up until this bull run, it made like a 2x or so. So, but again, we have much more money now in circulation. So I think, generally speaking, looking at the NASDAQ, what it has done in the first decade and then the second decade, how much money do we have in circulation, the stock to flow model, I think it's very decent to think, you know, without being way too degen in our price predictions and calculations. I think the total crypto market cap of crypto can easily get to, in 2024 or 2025, to approximately $10 trillion or even more. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to make it too complicated, but yeah, approximately here to approximately 10 trillion. And of course it can outperform because again, we have so much more money in circulation, and governments keep printing more and more money, not right now with the QT, but you know, they've been doing that for so many decades and probably gonna resume it again. So I think crypto can easily get to 10 trillion market cap or more, and it would make sense also with the stock to flow. So if a fair price of Bitcoin should be like 600K, and then we round it up with all of the Bitcoin dominant stuff back to 100K to 200K, it means that by 2024, Bitcoin can quite easily do a 5x from here, which again, non-financial advice, but to me it sounds like a no-brainer, you know, with Bitcoin right now. But as we've mentioned, it's already a big asset, it's very established. So the really big gains, the really, you know, the gains that Bitcoin had from, actually, sorry, I mean the total crypto market cap, the really big gains that Bitcoin had $10,000 to $20 million that it has done from 2012, guys, we're gonna find it now in you know, in altcoins. It's not gonna happen in Bitcoin, and also not really large ones like Ethereum. Okay, it's gonna be in the very small and new innovative altcoins that still nobody knows about. So guys, to round up this video, generally speaking, okay, so the major opportunity, the way I see it, non-financial advice, the major opportunity is still definitely in crypto, because it is so much more undervalued in comparison to NASDAQ, the big stocks of NASDAQ, okay? Now, as we saw, Bitcoin outperformed in a huge way all of these stocks, but that's just because the stocks were already very big and very successful anyway. So Bitcoin, the way I see it, Bitcoin is really joining now these fellas here. Now, I guess Bitcoin still, I personally think, again, non-financial advice, nobody knows what will happen. I think Bitcoin will still keep outperforming all of these stocks, or at least most of them, even for the next decade as well. But that's particularly with Bitcoin. The other altcoins are probably gonna still outperform in a huge way, because literally every bull run for crypto, we have approximately 1000x. Okay, like we in the last bull run of 2021, we've had a few coins that literally did yeah, we don't have the history here, but anyway, Phantom is just an example of a coin that did 1000x. Axie Infinity, another 1000x. Solana was very close to 1000x. In stocks, we didn't have anything close to that, remotely close to that. You do have like a 20x, you know, a Tesla or some other equivalent stocks did do a 20x. So, and again, diversification is also fantastic. Non-financial advice, I am a fan of stocks as well, but just the really big opportunities have been over the last decade in crypto, and they will continue to be, because still most people don't understand it, and it's also a global market. It's not only an American stock market, though the Western world can still invest in it. Crypto is totally global. Anyone in the whole world can buy crypto. So yeah, guys, that was a really long video, but I really wanted to give you the alpha of the stock to flow over here. So if you appreciate the content that you've seen today, guys, fantastic opportunities to subscribe, because we're gonna do another really major macro videos like this one. But I'm also gonna keep looking for the fantastic altcoins for the really major gains in the next bull runs. So thank you very much for being here once again. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend ahead, and see you guys again next Sunday, and cheers.